Hello everyone, myself Dr. Harshini, Associate Professor SJBIT. This is 11th video on strategic management and this video includes few contents of module 3 strategic formulation. Well, in earlier videos I had covered only low cost and differentiation under Porter's generic strategies, which is one of the business strategy. And in this video I'll be covering the rest of the Porter's generic strategies, which includes best cost, focused low cost and focused differentiation. And corporate strategy, stability strategy, retrenchment and international business level strategies will be included in my upcoming videos. Alright, so before I get into directly the focused low cost strategy, let me just give you the basic background of the Porter's generic strategies. Well, the generic strategies can be used to determine the direction, that is a strategy of any organization. Michael Porter uses 4 to 5. Some it's actually divided into 4, but again divided as cost leadership strategy, differentiation, cost focus and differentiation focus into 4 mainly. But still we can divide it into 5 as low cost, differentiation, best cost, focus low cost and focus differentiation. So here best cost is considered as one of the 5, or it's excluded in the 4 strategies. So according to Michael Porter, he describes the theory in his book in the year 1985, the book called Competitive Advantage, Creating and Sustaining Superior Performance. The basis was formed by 3 strategies, namely cost leadership, differentiation and focus. As I told, this is the main 3 concepts on which this model has been divided into. He divided the later into focus cost and differentiation cost, but again further he divided one more strategy as a best strategy. So you can either take it as 4 or 5 under Porter's generic strategy. Well, Porter's generic strategy discussed about cost leadership strategy. Let me just revise. It is choosing the cost leadership strategy. Target will be on the broad market, large market, and offer lowest possible price. There are 2 portions within the cost leaders strategy. One can opt to keep cost as low as possible and ensure that the larger market share will be with the average prices. So in both cases, the point is to keep the company cost as low as possible. The consumer price is a different story. Organizations that apply this strategy successfully usually have a substantial investment capital at their disposal and low cost when it comes to material and labor. And if the primary determinant of a firm's profitability is the attractiveness of the industry in which it operates, an important secondary determinant is its position within that industry. Even though an industry may have below average profitability, a firm that is optimally positioned can generate superior returns. A firm positions itself by leveraging its strength. Michael Porter has argued that a firm's strength ultimately fall into one of the 2 heads, as I already told, as cost advantage and differentiation. So by applying these strengths in either a broad or narrow scope, their generic strategies result into cost leadership, differentiation and focus. So these strategies are applied at the business unit level. They are called generic strategies because they are not firm or industry dependent, but they are nature dependent. Again, so Porter called the generic strategy as cost leadership, that is no frill, differentiation, which creates uniquely desirable products and service, and focus, which offers a specialized service in niche market. He then subdivided into 2 parts, that is focus, cost focus and differentiation focus, as I already told you. Then the cost leadership strategy, regarding that, Porter's generic strategy are ways of gaining competitive advantage. In other words, developing the edge that gets you the sale and takes it away from the competitors. 2 main ways of achieving this within cost leadership strategy is increasing profit by reducing cost while charging industry average price, and second one is increasing market share by charging lower price, which still make a reasonable profit on each sale because the company has reduced the cost. So the cost leadership strategy is exactly that. It involves being the leader in terms of cost in the industry or market. Simply being among the lowest cost producer is not good enough. as you leave yourself wide open to attack by both low-cost producer who may undercut your price and therefore block your attempts to increase market share. So therefore, need to be confident that you can achieve and maintain the number one position before choosing cost leadership route. Companies that are successful in achieving cost leaderships have access to capital needed to invest in technology that will bring costs down, very efficient logistic and also a low cost base, and a way of sustainably cutting costs below those of other competitors. Well, the greatest risk in pursuing cost leadership strategy is that these sources of cost reduction are not unique to any of us, and that our competitors copy the cost reduction strategy. This is why it's important to continuously find ways of reducing every cost. So one successful way of doing this is by adopting the philosophy of continuous improvement. Talking about the differentiation strategy, it involves making your products or service different from and more attractive than those of competitors. It depends on the exact nature of industry and products and service themselves. To make success of differentiation strategy, organization needs good research or development and innovation, ability to deliver high quality products and service, effective sales and marketing so that the market understands the benefits offered by differentiated offerings. Large organization pursuing different strategy needs to stay agile while their new product development process, otherwise they risk attack on several fronts by competitor pursuing focused differentiation strategies in different market segments. Well, this is about the low cost and differentiation. Now talking about the focused low cost strategy, or in general the focus strategy. Companies that use focus strategies concentrate on particular niche markets, and by understanding dynamics of that market and unique needs of customers within it, develop uniquely low cost or well specified products of the market. Because they serve customers in their market uniquely well, they tend to build strong brand loyalty among their customers. This makes their particular market segment less attractive to competitors. And as with broad market strategies, it's still essential to decide whether to pursue cost leadership or differentiation once after selected a focus strategy as a main approach. So focus is not normally enough on its own. But whether we use cost focus or differentiation focus, the key to making a success of generic focus strategy is to ensure that you are adding something extra as a result of serving only that market niche. It's simply not enough to focus on only one market segment because your organization is too small to serve a broad market. The something extra that we can add and contribute to reducing cost through knowledge of specialist suppliers, or to increase differentiation, or to increase the differentiation. Well, let me repeat: the something extra that we add to contribute to reducing cost or to increase differentiation. Hope it's clear. And regarding cost leadership strategy, okay, we are talking about focused strategy. Well, let me talk about or explain about the focus strategy. The focus strategy concentrates on a narrow segment, and within that segment attempts to achieve either a cost advantage or differentiation. The premise is that the needs of the group can be better served by focus entirely on it. Firm uses focus strategy often enjoys a high degree of customer loyalty, and this entrenchment loyalty discourages other firms from competing directly. So because of the narrow market focus, firms pursuing a focus strategy have lower volumes and therefore less bargaining power within their supplies. However, firms pursuing differentiation focused strategy may be able to pass higher cost on to customers since close substitute products do not exist. So firms that succeed in a focus strategy are able to tailor a broad range of product development strengths to relatively narrow market segment that they know very well. Some risks of focus strategies include imitation and changes in the target segments. Furthermore, it may be fairly easy for a broad market cost leaders to adopt its product in order to compete directly. Finally, other focusers may be able to carve out sub-segments that they serve even better. All right, then regarding focused, okay, and here as you can see on the slide, a focus strategy based on low cost aims at securing competitive advantage by serving buyers in the target market niche at lower cost and lower price than those of rival competitors. This strategy focuses on out competing rivals by keeping the cost of value chain activities to minimum level and bypassing certain value chain activities by innovating ways. Examples given are IKEA and Southwest Airlines. Now, focus differentiation strategy. All right, so choosing the differentiation focus strategy, you can target a niche market, and product and service are unique, should have unique feature. This strategy often involves strong brand loyalty among consumers. During focus on differentiation, it's very important to ensure that product remains unique in order to stay ahead of possible competition. So in order to choose the right strategy for organization, it's important to be aware of the competencies and strengths of the company. So how to choose the right generic strategy? Well, first we have to do the SWOT analysis for the business. This will clear the strengths and weaknesses as well as highlight opportunities and threats. And then second step is try to truly grasp the market of industry. This can be done through 5 force analysis, a model also developed by the Michael Porter, which I'll be discussing in the upcoming videos. And then we have to compare SWOT analysis with that of the outcome of the step 2 that we did regarding 5 force analysis. And for each of Porter's strategies, we have to ask ourselves how it might be of use that strategy to use strategy to influence the previously mentioned 5 force. So on that basis, determine which strategy offers you the best starting point. This is how you should go about in choosing the right strategy. Well, on the critical comments with regarding to this, Porter stressed that idea that only one strategy should be applied by an organization in order to prevent a stuck in the middle scenario. However, model in which you opt for just one strategy certainly raises criticism, right? So for example, model is not particularly flexible. So there are plenty of companies that opt for more hybrid strategy, making use of different components of Porter 4 generic strategies. In a rapidly changing market, this flexibility, the ability to switch quickly and respond to the market and the demand seems to be an important element to run a successful long-term business. Okay, then risks of focus strategy. Competitors find effective ways to match a focuser's capabilities in serving niche. Niche buyers' preference shifts towards product attributes desired by majority of buyers. Niche becomes part of a rural market. Segment becomes so attractive it becomes crowded with rivals, causing segment profits to be broken. Coming back to the last strategy, that is best cost provider strategy. Well, as I said, how to select the right strategic generic strategy. Before that, let me explain the best cost provider strategy and then I'll go to that. Okay. Well, all right. So best cost provider strategy or a hybrid of low cost provider and differentiation strategy that aim at providing desired quality, features, performance, service attributes while beating rivals on price, striving to get customers more value for the money by combining an emphasis on low cost with an emphasis on upscale differentiation. It combines both low cost and differentiation, as I already told you. The object is to create superior value by meeting or beating customer expectation on product attributes and beating their price expectations. Example, Target appears to be following a best cost strategy. The firm charges prices that are relatively low among retailers while at the same time attracting trend conscious consumers by carrying products from famous designers such as Michael Graves, Isaac Mizrahi, a brand, Feroci or Lizrange and others. So what is the risk of best cost provider strategy? Right, the risk of best cost provider strategy, it may get squeezed between strategies of firms using low cost and differentiation strategy. Low cost leaders may be able to siphon customers away with the lower price. High end differentiators may be able to steal customers away with the better product attributes. So both way it is a risk using this particular strategy. Then talking about the generic strategies and industry forces, let me take some features and try to address how it affects with different strategies, that is cost leadership strategy, differentiation strategy and focus strategy. Well, with respect to entry barriers, I'm talking about generic strategies and industry force. Okay, so with respect to entry barriers, if you adopt the cost leadership, ability to cut price in retaliation deters potential entrants. With respect to differentiation strategy, customers' loyalty can discourage potential entrants. But as well as if you go for focus strategy, focusing develops core competencies that can act as an entry barrier. And next feature being buying power. Well, buying power is the ability to offer lower price to powerful buyers. With respect to cost leadership strategy is used, as well as with differentiation, large buyers have less powers to negotiate because of few close alternatives. And with focus, large buyers have less power to negotiate because of fewer alternatives. And talking about the supplier power with respect to cost leadership, better insulated from powerful suppliers. And with respect to differentiation, better able to pass on supplier price increases to customers. And with focus strategy, with respect to supplier power, suppliers have power because of low volumes, but a differentiation focus firm is better able to pass on supplier price increases. Now talking about threat of substitutes, if you adopt cost leadership, it can use low price to defend against substitutes. If you adopt differentiation strategy, customers becomes attracted to differentiating attributes, reducing threat of substitutes. And with respect to focus is concerned, specialized products and core competency protect against substitutes. And with the concept of rivalry industry force, which is one of the industry force, it better able to compete on price with respect to cost leadership, and brand loyalty to keep customers from rivals with respect to differentiation. And with respect to focus strategy, rivals cannot meet differentiation focused customer need. Well, this is about generic strategies and industry force. So a combination of generic strategies we've already discussed. So then choosing the right strategy also we discussed. As I told you, the first step is, first we have to do SWOT analysis, and then second step being use the 5 force analysis to understand nature of industry that we are in, and the third step is we have to compare the SWOT analysis of the variable strategy options with the result of your 5 force analysis. For each strategic option, we have to ask ourselves how you can use the strategy to reduce and manage supplier power, and how to reduce and manage buyer customer power, how to come out on top of the competitive rivalry, how to reduce or eliminate the threat of substitution, how to reduce or eliminate threat of new entry. So on that basis we have to choose the right strategy. Okay, so for that we have to ask ourselves what the organization generic strategy is, how does this affect the choice of selecting the company, and accordingly use the strategies. Alright, so I think I covered all the 5 factors, forces of Porter's strategy, generic strategy. And to summarize, Porter's generic strategy can be used to determine the direction or the strategy of organization, where we discussed about cost leadership, differentiation, best strategy, cost focus, and differentiation focus. Alright, so I hope it's clear. So these are the contents that we covered in this video, even in early video, that is business strategy is done. headquarters generic strategies, discussed in detail about it. And in next coming videos, I'll be covering corporate strategy, stability strategy, retrenchment strategy, and also a brief about international business level strategies. All right, thank you so much.